Now, are you all sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. My name's Alex. I'm experimentally starting a video log. So what I thought I'd do, having missed out on the opportunity to film a lot of the travels that I've been out on, I thought I would read an excerpt from my made-up little book. So here we go. Indonesia isn't a jolly. We're saving on the hotel this time around. The novel tale should only have a few millipedes in it, so it'll be reasonable. Cambodia is definitely not a jolly. There are still midgets fighting over the last bit of meat on a human thigh bone over there, but one of the companies has bailed out, so we won't be there for long. Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh is a jolly. When we eventually got into the bag and carousel area, and I'd done my business in the first bathroom I could see, I walked past the attendant, forgetting to tip, and out the building straight into what must have been some kind of scientific force field research facility. It was like walking into a brick wall of unbearable heat, humidity, stink and noise. I felt a real endocrine drop of fear as I thought that this must be what the seventh circle of hell feels like. Crowds lurched over the low, superfluous security fencing like a gaggle of zombies. Crawling through the masses, dropping my luggage, only thrice we made it to the cool, leathery enclosure of a Bluebird cab. The experience I experienced after this point can only be described as an experience better than losing my virginity. This was a tall order, since that particular story involves a magnificent combination of a wooded area, a tractor, scraped knees and a Nissan Micra. Despite being in the protective confines of a five-seater, I felt my buttocks clench to the respective rhythm of every single moped that whizzed past, a sensation I assumed they all shared with me. It took me some time to realise that everyone on the road here were almost completely relaxed. The constant beeping wasn't given in anger, but more to say, "Don't move, good buddy, I'm undertaking." The tailgating and small revs of engines to ensure every car clung tenaciously to the rear of the next wasn't done out of ignorance or spite, but the fact that if a driver were to give a couple of feet between vehicles, then an unholy swarm of mopeds would fill that gap like a process of osmosis in the blink of an eye. I remember when I was younger and things like James Bond and The Fast and the Furious came out, I would wonder how these stunt drivers did it. They must have had amazing motor skills. But I'll tell you what, they were clearly overhyped. If Hollywood wants to start outsourcing, Suburbia could do with some headhunters. That is the first page from the chapter which talks about the very first trip I ever went to, which was to Indonesia. It was a Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam trip, covered about 3 weeks, so it was roughly a week in each. This is written as a lot of sort of noted paragraphs. Nothing really has much prose to it. I tried to write just little things, little sort of characters, potentially funny thoughts that came to me at the time. And one day, maybe I'll piece it all together. I'm not sure where I'm talking about, but I have this section here in italics. It was probably meant to be a blurb or some sort of prologue. I loved, and in brackets, Prime Asia, close bracket. It was my favourite. Not just out of all the labs we visited on this trip,